Today I'll be showing you how to get out of bounds of the Lost City, which is a location on the Pale Heart in Destiny 2. There are a lot of holes that lead to the same spot, so if you're looking on how to get under the map and trigger load zones, make sure to check the timestamps below. The first hole is in the courtyard behind this balcony. You'll need to finesse a little bit to use it, but if you follow what I do, you can easily get out as well. The first barrier to entry is going to be these pipes. You need to somehow position yourself on top of them so you can push yourself through this pushback barrier. Once you get over here, if you happen to die, it shouldn't really matter as you will respawn. Ultimately, you want to back up and get some speed, hit this right hand side to get some height, and then land on that roof. Once you're on that roof, push through and you will fall down outside the turnback barrier. If you enjoy this type of content, please consider subscribing. The spot that I'm going to run to and end on will be the recurring spot that I will come to through all the holes, just so you can kind of get an orientation of where we're at. Hopping over to the speaker's old room, you can jump under the bridge that leads into the room and get out of bounds. You will notice that I hit a pushback barrier here. If you go to the right and follow the path that you would normally take while you're inbounds, you can get back to that side. But let's check something else out. You can fall quite a bit down without hitting a death barrier, and you fall next to these giant balls. I really wonder what their intended use was for. If you head to the left, you can use Eager Edge to get even further out of bounds. For me, I utilize the turnback barrier. Once you get to it, use your first Eager Edge, run a little bit, and then use another Eager Edge. You should do it just fine. The cool thing about this spot is you can get under on the grass where you normally couldn't get. If you have some determination, you can head up vertically and get underneath the speaker's room and explore the front of it as well. This next hole is right after you exit the building with Micah-10 in it on your way to the Outskirts. If you're having trouble making this jump, make sure to switch to first person as there are kill barriers and a lot of pushback if you get too far away from the wall. Going down this hole right here will let you explore the outside of Micah-10's building, as well as going down underneath the Lost City itself. We're going to go ahead and check out the other side though. You can fall down this hole and explore the other side of Micah-10's room if you'd like to. However, let's hop back. With a bit of finessing, you can jump up on top of this room. However, unfortunately, there are some very big solid walls that do not let you pass. This spot's not very practical because once you get out, there are way too many pushback barriers that basically the only way you can go is back under the Lost City. Similar to the last spot, once you get out here, there's an extreme amount of pushback barriers, but at least it is a different perspective. I wasn't able to find anything too interesting out here, so let me know if you find something. If you head to the landing, I will show you a hole that lets you fly to the load zone for the Lost City. This will allow you to be under the building that you jump down to transition into the landing. If you're interested in finding more holes for the landing, make sure to keep an eye out for the video we're going to post, or check the top right if we've already linked it. For what it's worth, you can spawn sparrows and skimmers down here, so you don't need to sword fly. You can also take them into the loading zone if you like. The biggest thing to keep an eye out for here is that you need to fly down this hallway and get to the load zone. If you come from outside, I do believe there are walls and you would not be able to trigger the load zone at all. Technically speaking, the Lost City and the Lost City Outskirts are two different load zones. With that in mind, I did find an out of bounds in the Outskirts that lets you fly underneath the map, get under the death barrier, trigger the load zone, and get underneath the Lost City, way below where you should usually get. For For this spot, you're going to want to jump as close to the mountain as possible, as there are death barriers all around here. Getting close to the mountain, I did notice it lets you fall underneath them, and then you can sword fly and get out and go wherever you want to go. Since this is the outskirts, it does allow sparrows and it does allow skimmers, so do keep that in mind. Once we get to the safe spot, you're going to want to set your respawn here just in case something goes wrong. We're then going to proceed to get on our skimmer, because I'm bad at sparrow flying, and fly out here. Make sure you exit the fog, because if you fly too far up in the fog, I do believe there are kill barriers everywhere. Once you're over here where I'm at, you're going to want to do any sort of vertical climbing. I use skimmer flying on a Titan. It's super easy. If you don't know how to do it, check the video on the top right. If you notice when I fly towards this tunnel area, you do get a pushback. If you head to the right, you're able to fly around it. Once in here, the only true danger is flying a little too high. If you go too high, you will hit a death barrier, but you can fall a great amount down, and you can fly underneath these mountains and get back towards the outskirts. If you learned something new and enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing and leaving a like. If you didn't, then leave a dislike or a comment letting us know why. And as always, stay curious, Guardians.